trapped. When it is trapped, it begins to heat up your glaciers, which we talked about. It begins to cause greater evaporation of the surface of the sea and lakes. You have a lot of water vapor. It begins to energize the wind, to make the wind more ferocious. So that is why you have violent storms, melting glaciers, and of course when this ice melts, it melts into the ocean and seas. That's why we are having sea level rise. It may be happening thousands of kilometers away in the North Pole or South Pole, but it empties into the oceans. And even here in Nigeria, we have cases of rising sea level. And talking about rising sea level, Nigeria's coastal area is basically low-lying coast, so that any rise in sea level would begin to be noticeable around Lagos, Calabar, Port Harcourt. You see the effect of sea level rise. So the connection between the two is that global warming has given rise to extreme weather events that manifest in the long term as climate change. And I also like to say that it is not everything that looks violent in terms of weather, because very often when it rains heavily, I get phone calls. DG, is this climate change? And my answer is yes and no. Yes, in the sense that it could be, and no, in the sense that we also have the natural variability. From day to day, from year to year, from month to month, there are variabilities. You don't expect exactly the same amount of rainfall we had last year to be the same as this year, or the one that we'll have in 2018. That's natural variability. But when there is a whole large-scale shift in the pattern, and for us to qualify it as climate change, we must have taken the observation over a period of 30 years. Compare what you are having now with the average over a period of 30 years. So the statistics I was reading out for you for little dry season is a comparison we have done with what is the average over the past 30 years and what is happening today. So that is that. In most other places, most of these places, I can also tell you the amount of rainfall. It is far below the normal for that period.
Thank you so much. So, this one, we'll take our second break. When we come back, we'll talk more about seasonal rainfall protection